ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the World Manufacturing Forum, and a very special welcome to all our international guests. It's great having you here today. This will be a very innovative edition of the World Manufacturing Forum, but at the very heart of these 2 days will remain the new industrial revolution, which is reshaping not just the world of business, but our society, our economy, our planet, the way we live together. There are opportunities, but there are also challenges. And in this great get-together, institution, government, companies, educators, innovators, technology enablers will discuss together how to transform what's happening in the digital space and manufacturing space into growth opportunity for every one of us and for our society.
We have to change also the vocabulary of the people, because we keep speaking about stacks, smoke, noise, and we have to start vice versa, changing the vocabulary. This word might be replaced by circular economy, high-skilled jobs, better salaries, responsible and clean manufacturing.
Le imprese danno un contributo importante alla creazione della ricchezza e alla creazione del lavoro, perché poi è il lavoro che crea la ricchezza. Auspico che presto venga ripreso questo concetto e si metta al centro di nuovo l'impresa.
Express purpose of trying to foster manufacturing R&D on a global sense, of course resulting in things such as stable economies, stronger economies, and social growth. That continues to be the mission for IMS, and that's certainly why we are partnering, as Alberto said earlier.
We really believe in the power of manufacturing as an engine of innovation, but also as an engine of development, of peace, of stability, of wealth. It's really a power of innovation in society.
Our goal is to become a benchmark across the world. We are gambling on research, innovation, and investment in human capital.
So we need to focus more on quality. Putting together quality and quantity lead to what I think can be the only competitive advantage that can be sustained in the long term, which is the skill in system integration, one that cannot easily be duplicated just by scale.
Let's get at the very heart of the presentation with Professor Marco Taisch of the World Manufacturing Forum report. This is the first edition, and it includes, as I was anticipating, 10 guidelines and recommendations that will basically be the base of the discussion after that. Please, Professor Taisch.
Since we think that manufacturing is at the core of our economy, we need to work in the direction of making it a peacekeeper. We think that it's the best way to create peace all over the world. It's a better way to create sustainable development. And this is our manifesto, and this is the manifesto that we would like to share with you, which is this report. You will receive this at the end of the day, and I hope that this is not just a gift for you, but hope that this is the starting point of the new era. An era where we work together in order to make a better world, a better environment, a better society.
Let's move fast to the first panel that's been introduced. So how would you see the innovation priorities by 2013? The first reaction, and we'll combine the point of view of global institution, of policymaker, tech leader, and industrialist also from Italy.
If we look at what is the role that manufacturing plays in European economy, we can say that it contributes significantly to overall exports from Europe. And the private sector also invests heavily in research and innovation. We also cooperate together with private investors. And this we do, for instance, in our research and innovation programs by means of partnerships.
We see the digitalization process in Brazil not only for the concern of manufacturing. We understand it's a process that engages the entire society.
Our customers in manufacturing are innovating at a pace that's never been seen before. There's a lot of our customers are here in the audience, and they impress me every time I walk in. Enabling the employee, the worker. We forget about the worker sometimes. If we just focus on the worker, bringing information to the workers, empowering the worker, making it easier to the point of work, you can get 3 to 5% utilization just coming by focusing on the workers you have.
We were at the origins of the launch of the fourth industrial revolution as a guiding theme, and I think that the big risk that we are seeing behind it and behind the future of manufacturing, it's an increased number of inequalities between and within countries, with one of the priorities that were mentioned in the top 10 recommendations being the increasing divide in between multinational companies and small and medium enterprises.
Do we have to continue to do the things as we always been doing? This is one of the biggest questions. You said no, never. We always have to question everything we do. And not only to ourselves, but also to our people. So first of all, we ask our people how we should change. The same process, how can be seen into different perspectives.
Our second panel headline is Manufacturing Industry as Value Added for Society. We are at the crossroad of physical, digital, and human. So how to transform the Industrial Revolution in a force that can benefit all the society, and how to face the challenges that we started to discuss at the beginning of the work this morning.
Don't look only to the young people that still are at school today or at university today. Let's also to the workforce that we have today in the companies. A person who is today 30 years will still be in the company for 30, 35 years, or in the sector for 30, 35 years. Well, how do we train the people that we have today on board for the skills and the jobs that we need in the future?
One of our first aim, I think, is to make manufacturing sexy again. Around the big issue of the transformation of manufacturing, the digitization of manufacturing, there's a lot of fear. Because many people think that a lot of disruption may occur, that the benefits will be spread in an equal way. And so we have also to address these issues.
The skills policy, and we've started a diagnostic in each of our value chain in order to identify the needs, the skills that we're going to need in the future, and define an action plan in order to make the transformation successful.
But when you talk about new technologies like artificial intelligence, you also have to think of other societal impacts that concern very much the fear that people have in the use of artificial intelligence, and issues such as what is going to happen to the data that I give, how am I going to be profiled, how am I going to be categorized in certain categories by the machines.
And I think that one of the problems of the governance of the technical change is how to select the social objectives that we want to achieve. These new technologies are disruptive not only for the labor market, but also for firms.
It's important to understand how the world is going, how to have a better focus, and try to focalize the attention about the possibility to improve. We have to be faster and faster and faster.
How to harness the full potential of the fourth industrial revolution to boost competitiveness in the global manufacturing industry by reinforcing international cooperation, promoting investment, and advancing the proper application of technology.
Compared to the manufacturing industries and to the manufacturing companies, the IT industry, since long time, has way more the kind of mindset and thinking of what they call co-opetition. So one day they are competitors, and the next day they're working together and delivering a customer project. So we see this as digitalization is becoming more and more important, and getting into manufacturing in the industry verticals as well, that this kind of mindset has to arrive also at manufacturing companies.
Big challenges, digitalization and the shortage of labor forces smart manufacturing, that is using robotics, IoTs, or the AIs is a key for transforming new manufacturing models.
If one is bringing the right technology, which serves the right purpose, there will be an immediate uptake. So it's about identifying the bigger picture and saying how the individual technologies are going to fit into the bigger picture. I would say private individuals in South Africa certainly, who are willing to invest in new technology and new processes.
And I think that how we really communicate and what are the instruments that we are having available really to provide certain kind of a support or kind of encouragement or certain kind of a framework where they could really start to use.
SME, especially in manufacturing industry, actually play a key role in the future generation technologies. They are brave to be innovative, to be, going forward using new technologies. With that, actually, we have to think about SME because they are so small. They just start up. They have great ideas, but they lack of resources financially, or even, some sort of a fixed asset.
Solving the manufacturing skill challenges and create a skill marketplace. Now, we'll try to go beyond the conversation and just the talk and try to indicate some of the solution for this, even though I cannot guarantee that we will find and solve the manufacturing skills problem. But we'll try to do that with some really distinguished and qualified panelists. The job evolution and the skills requirement and how to handle the mismatch between what the industry demand and what the labor market is offering has been already discussed. And we heard about many initiatives, also at the European level, and many different ways to handle this. But my first question is this all working? Is all the things that we are trying to do creating results?
We're already seeing in Canada colleges, universities, and industry working together to put together some training academies, training programs that are being delivered in a very simple form outside of educational institutions. I think we need more of that. I think we need more customized applications in the skills that we're training for, but built on a platform that can be provided by our colleges, by our education, by our universities.
Kids are all different. We have customization and personalization on everything now around.
Except
schools. On our side, we are trying to piloting. There are some areas where smart working is more possible than others. Of course, when you're talking about the manufacturing floor, it's not that easy to talk about smart working. But again, on the manufacturing floor, the jobs are completely changing.
I am always trying to learn new things. I have recently finished my new learning to be a board member at INSEAD, and I think this is always something that we need to pursue. Always adding new knowledge, evolve as a professional. And I try to stimulate this to all the persons that work with me.
I think we heard many topics here, so we need to communicating very well what is the opportunity in manufacturing. I believe it's about the purpose you can give as a company. Why should people join you and for what are we working every day? The third dimension which people are looking for is what is the culture you are running a business? Do people like to come to work and stay there 6, 7, 8 hours every day?
Digital transformation is simply applying technology to our existing business processes. Digital transformation is not about transforming our company to a digital company. We are manufacturers. We create products, and we want to create even better products. So how can we infuse digital in our existing business processes to help us exceed? That's what digital transformation is all about.
The main topic will be manufacturing as a powerhouse for emerging countries. So how do emerging countries handle the new industrial revolution? Will it be a powerhouse? Will it be a force for growth or a problem? Because in many countries, it's a difficult task to handle automation and the impact on the job market. Also, there's a different cycle in emerging markets and developed economies.
Industrial production remains crucial as economic activity that provides the opportunity for great incomes, productive work, and increased social mobility. In 2015, the adoption of SDG Goal 9 out of the 17 goals, 30 development agenda, which is for sustainable development, build resilient infrastructure, promote inclusive and sustainable industrialization, and foster innovation by UN member states.
It's very important that we start to move. The challenge, to take the challenge, we continue to, what we do is that we try to accelerate the pace of transformation in our industries, train the people to know that it is time now to move to 4.0. It's not, cannot survive with industry 3.0 anymore. If we are not moving fast, we are going to be just discarded. And this is the fate of 1 million workers.
My feeling is that in this fast changing world, we probably cannot just push for manufacturing development alone anymore, because the market is changing very fast. The consumers are changing its preference very fast. Even today, in my country, we are experiencing e-payment, cashless society.
African countries are also now finding ways to improve or to bring about manufacturing. There are strategies, action plans at the continental level, at the regional level, and also at country level, trying to catch up with the progress that made in other places.
Might be necessary to think not in policies like we thought in the past, in terms of import substitution or export-led industrialization, but on a global compact of knowledge. This is what is really relevant about discussions here, because ministers were saying, manufacturing is going digital. If we know something about the future, is that everything is going digital. Therefore, access to knowledge becomes critical.
L'idea di società in cui l'industria è la soluzione, non il problema. Un'idea di società per noi molto chiara, che deve vedere persone al centro della società e imprese al centro dell'economia. Una società in cui l'industria sia parte di una spiegazione di futuro.
This is a critical session, probably slightly different from others. We will speak a lot about finance, but it's very important due to the need of a wide range of financial tools to cope with the heterogeneity of the manufacturing firms. We have high-tech startups, we have traditional small, medium enterprises, which are still the vast majority in any economy in the world. We have fast-growing companies, large corporations, family-run business. All these models are present in our economies in the manufacturing sector, and therefore each model needs a different approach to finance its activity.
Who controls the leading technologies? Because those who control those technologies will lead the way in the next century. So there is a very strong competition between the US, China, and the European Union, and India coming up, because those who control, those who win this game, will be the rule setters, and those who lose in this game will be rule takers.
And then the third thing that we do is we know that for most entrepreneurs that we deal with through our history, that funding and capital alone is not enough. It's really around management capabilities and how do you build management capabilities in companies. And that's the part of BDC that I run, BDC Advisory Services, to help firms to build management capabilities. And we have about 230 professionals across the country that help to do that.
Money is a commodity. Then a commodity is characterized by large availability and easy access. Easy access is not for all. And money is not a commodity for the medium and small enterprises that on one side find a significant gap between the ability of assessing risk and analyzing investment business plan in advanced technology, and the Industry 4.0 is an example of that.
Broadly, and most importantly, what we're looking for is companies that are addressing big markets and big problems. So where other people see billion-dollar challenges, venture capital investors see billion-dollar opportunities. And also, we're looking for companies that have really unique value propositions.
We're going to talk about circular economy to satisfy sustainable developmental goals. Well, I heard a phrase, I've heard it over and over in the video, that actually won the contest. It says, creating a better, more sustainable future for every industrialized nation. It begins here and now.
We all want high human well-being at low ecological footprint. High well-being at low footprint should be the goal, and that's what the SDGs are about. But if you look at the real figures, what you will see is that in countries with high well-being, the ecological footprint is very high, and vice versa. Countries with low footprint have low levels of well-being. So for the moment, sustainable development is an oxymoron.
And that's also, I see it as a more ethical question, because I think that every generation have a responsibility to give the earth back to more or less the same state as we received from our parents. And I'm pretty sure that my generation may be the first one where this is not happening. So we have to stand up and take responsibility here. And where I'm seeing around the world today, where maybe we are lacking political leadership really to sort of enforcing that, and I think the 17th Sustainable Development Goal is the right thing to do. But still, I mean, we need political leaders to take responsibility here, and maybe we are lacking that these days here.
All of us are guilty of driving distracted in one way or another. And so we cause all the accidents that are on the road. And I am here to say that if Henry Ford and Gottlieb Daimler were here today, they are a blip on a 100-year history of vehicle manufacturing, because we need to get the driver out of the front seat. We can do it, and it will be safer, but it's going to be hard. And your children and grandchildren will not know drunk driving, and they will not know distracted driving accidents, and they won't measure cars by their safety crash rating, just like you don't get in an airplane today and measure the airplane by its safety crash rating.
We invest a lot in technology diffusion, so that the leaders with their technologies and what they have developed can be diffused and used by more companies, users across the EU. That is also very important, because we have quite a big heterogeneity in the European performance. And the second thing we do, we include social sciences and humanities in our technology development projects.
What kind of framework needs to be set up in order to have a utilization of AI that is?
So what's the main problem is that industrial systems have been designed without having security in mind. They were not designed to be connected on any network, and specifically not internet. So what's happening today with the digitalization is where we, for example, automate entire supply chain, which brings us a lot of benefits and savings in the company. On the other hand, we see a lot of threats, because can you imagine what happens if, for example, a pharmaceutical company, if somebody gets into the data?
Right now, about 5 billion people in the world have access to wireless communications in one form or another. That's roughly 2/3 of the world's population. The next wave, the next human generation, is not so much about connecting people, but connecting machines. And we are developing new network technologies to provide this highly resilient, highly reliable, highly secure wireless communications technology that will become the nervous system of the next industrial revolution.
When you start thinking new technology, product related, you have to involve manufacturing knowledge and skill from the very beginning, because you can have an idea on how the product should be, but then you need from the very first moment to involve manufacturing, to have their opinion on the way you have to design the new product. Because if not, the risk is that to anyway deliver good product, you have to spend a lot of money within the factory.
A key issue is explainable AI, for example. We look into the skills issue. We cannot just adopt AI and not look at that. We have to see that it means some people will lose their jobs, and that there's nothing to do about that. But we create jobs on the other end, and we have to make sure that this goes smooth and that we establish that we do much more on skills development and lifelong learning. The blue-collar worker in a factory in the future has to be able to use analytics tools.